G'day and welcome to another big edition of the RDFNL Footy Show. Thanks to our friends at Ontime Delivery Solutions. My name's Yeendy. I'm joined by Tara Murray from the Star Weekly. It's all happening as we head into the final round for this coming weekend, but what a weekend we had just gone.
It was, and we still have that sixth spot up for grabs in the final round, which is what you want. You want an exciting final round. But look, we had some predictable matches on the weekend, but then we did have one big upset as well. So look, I think we're getting an idea of where the teams are sort of going to sit come finals time, but it's still it was an interesting weekend and still another one to come. Absolutely.
There's one player that you've been really building up over the last few weeks who's happened to kick a few goals of Diggers over the year against some of the teams in the bottom half of the ladder. Cam McCabe, he has been on fire. He kicked another bag on the weekend, and that's the first game that we will talk up. We will talk up Diggers Rest big win over Broadford.
It is, and it's interesting. We talk about Cam McCabe. He's up to equal third on the goal kicking, so that's another thing we'll keep an eye on come this final round. You've got Hayden Ross leading that on 66 goals. You've got Dylan Weir on 59, then you've got Cam McCabe, Todd Potterzak and Tom Gawthrop all on 55 goals. So you could actually go into that final round. Obviously 66, he's got a bit of a lead, but we've seen all of those guys kick bags of goals, so it could be quite an interesting run home. But as you mentioned, Diggers Rest, look, it was no surprise there. Obviously they had a massive over 100-point win. Look, Broadford still kicked 48 points, so that's a big score for them.
That's huge for them.
That's huge for them against some of the top sides where we've seen them go not kick a goal or under 10. So that was massive for them. Cam McCabe was obviously the star there, and it sort of gets the Boroughs that they will likely finish fourth. They can finish third depending on other results, so it'll be an interesting final round. So yeah, so at the moment you've either got third or fourth. You had Matty Crowell was best for the Boroughs in that win, where you had Callum Langbaum kick 4 goals for Broadford.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and that's probably what I think the biggest haul of players kicked all year for Broadford as well. So that speaks volumes of where they're at, and obviously coming off a big win the previous week as well. It's great to see them carry on that confidence.
It is, and it's amazing what a win can do. You can do the confidence, even if it's for a quarter here or a quarter there. It's building on that, and that's what they needed this season. Obviously, they always knew it was going to be a tough season, and it has turned out to be that. But getting a win on the board is massive for them, and it's all up in the future.
Let's talk up the big upset over at Tony Clark Reserve, and we know it was tough conditions out there. The ground had copped the battering on the weather front and all the traffic going on over the last few weeks, but it was the Sunbury Kangaroos saluting to a big win over the Cats.
Look, I think the conditions probably in the end suited the Kangaroos.
They did,
because they could make it a low-scoring defensive game, and that's probably where the Kangaroos' strength has been this season. They've obviously got a number of key players in that defensive lineup. Their captain, Daniel Gregory, is probably the main one we think of when you look down there. But look, in the end, there was only 11 goals kicked, and the Kangaroos were in front for most of the day, and Macedon kept coming at them, and I think the Kangaroos only finished with 17 on the field because they had a player receive either a yellow or a red card late in the game, so they managed to hold on, and it was a massive win for the Kangaroos. They upset Wood and Heskett a few weeks ago, but now this is the big one for them. They always knew it was a tough season, but this is some reward for effort for those guys that have stuck around and done all the hard work.
Yeah, spot on, and what that probably does is that dents the confidence of the Cats just a little bit as well. So essentially, Wood and Heskett don't make finals. Well, the club still talks about that game, so the Sunbury Kangaroos can hang their hat on that they're still able to shape the top 6 from the outside.
And it is, and obviously you talk about the Cats, they've lost 3 out of the last 4. So look, they did obviously have that really good win against Wallen a few weeks ago, which was, I think it was a 2-point win. Then they lost a thriller to Riddle, but then they've dropped a couple. They dropped obviously the one to Romsey they weren't expecting to drop. Now they've dropped one to Sunbury Kangaroos, so they will finish 5th. I think their percentage means they sort of can't change no matter what the results are in this final round. And I think they do play one of the lower sides as well. Yeah. I think they do play Rockbank, if I'm correct. And so yeah, look, it's tough for them, and you go, they've probably been a little bit hit and miss after they sort of fired in that middle part of the season. So look, for the Kangaroos, obviously that was confidence boosting, and you had some of those guys who were starting to step up. You like Christian Monaco's one, Braden Wilson's another one, Lockie Kay's another one. So there's some of those guys who have got those opportunities this year and made the most of them at senior level, where they probably had a little bit more depth. They probably wouldn't have got them, but they've made the most. And look, it's a big boost for them coming to the end of the season. Look, actually, and I realised they actually play Rockbank in the final round, not Macedon.
Yeah. Macedon got Lansfield, I think.
It is. I think it's in the netball that they play each other. So in that way, so you've got there. So for the Sunbury Kangaroos, they've got the opportunity to finish with 2 wins in a row to finish the season. Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. Rupert's Wood are finishing with a little bit of confidence heading into the final round of the season and heading into the finals. And Melton Centrals, I think their last few weeks have been disappointing. They've played some really good sides, but they just haven't been able to capitalise on that great win against Wallen a few weeks back.
Exactly. They've got that win and then they've dropped the last two. They did have a tough run home and they knew that, and they haven't been able to keep that momentum going. Saying that, they obviously were playing Rupert's Wood, who is the first team to steal a top 2 spot this season.
Yep.
So they will get a top 2 and a double chance. They've already done that. Whether they finish first or second, I think will depend on how they go against Wallen in the final round, which will be a cracker of a match there. So you've obviously got that. But for the Sharks, look, they set it up in the first half and that's where all the damage was done. And in the end, they ran away with it, which they'll be pretty happy because it was a lot closer last time these two teams met. I think Melton Centrals are in the game for 3 quarters, so a much better performance from Rupert's Wood against Melton Centrals this time round.
And the Sharks typically spread the goals around.
It was. You have Billy Canello and Nick Grigg kicked 3 goals each, so you've got them, and I think they had a number of other goal kickers, which is what we've seen this season. Look, obviously Todd Podolzak sitting up there, equal third in the goal kicking, but they've got a number of different options up there.
Yeah, Wood and Heskett kept its slim finals hopes alive with a convincing win over Rockbank.
Look, and that's what they did what they had to do. Obviously, it could come down to percentage in that final round, and you look, Wood and Heskett obviously got the win against Romsey to give them not only get the points boost, but a percentage boost the week before. And this one they had about 140 point win, which, look, in the end they really needed just to keep their finals hopes alive, let alone they did what they sort of had to do. They had 13 different goal kickers and were finding different avenues to goal, which is what they sort of did against Romsey. They were very dangerous when I went up and saw that game, and they had a number of different avenues there. So they're starting to find that spread, which they probably lacked at times. So it sets up an interesting final match for the Hawks.
No doubt they would have. They've also would have been watching the result closely between Romsey and Riddle, and I think that's probably where the sort of win the Hawks had to have is just build themselves up, give them as much confidence as possible. Providing that Riddle did beat Romsey, at least they'd have as much confidence as possible going into that game.
Look, I think the Romsey game probably gives them more confidence than this game. They expected to in this one. They expected to win by a big margin, but it was Romsey against one of those sides that obviously they are fighting for a top 6 spot for. I think that was the big confidence booster they needed after dropping a few games they didn't expect to. So, and you mentioned that obviously Romsey fell just short against Riddle, and I think that's sort of where we're seeing Romsey at. Last time they got absolutely smashed by the Bombers, but it shows they can be close, but probably not quite close enough to those top teams to really challenge.
It wasn't. I caught the first half of that game, and I think Romsey were competitive. I didn't see Riddle really put the foot down like they could.
Yeah, and you look again, the Bombers were inaccurate in front of goal.
Yeah.
I think they kicked 9-14, so probably not their worst they've had in recent weeks, but still probably not good enough for them, and you need to kick better than that finals. And look, in the end it was an 18-point margin, and look, at this stage the Bombers have done so much over the past week. They haven't lost since round 3, so they look like they will have a top 3 finish, and that's massive for them considering where they started the season. Whether they put their foot down or they're maybe trying a few more players, trying a few things before finals, I'm not 100% sure. You were out there.
Well, I think Romsey were quite competitive actually. I really enjoyed the way they ran off half back, particularly in that first half. The way Aidan Tazari ran off half back, Nathan Raymond ran through the middle. Aaron Patterson was fantastic in that first half. So I think they probably wasn't so much about Riddle sort of looking at what they could and couldn't do and sort of mixing things up. I think Romsey were generally competitive at the end of the day, and I think what that actually does is that might actually even give the Hawks a chance to beat Riddle this weekend, because I do think it showed that Riddle are beatable. And if that being the case, if that game has anything to do with it, that actually could be the detriment of the Redbacks as well, because they've shown that there are some vulnerabilities there at the Bombers. James Nolan he'd been playing in the reserves. Dylan Tarkson was pretty strong up forward. His younger brother was doing quite well too. And the player that probably impressed me the most in that stretch was Harry Power. Really good link with the handballs inside that forward 50. Every time he gets that ball, a lot of the times, he's always looking for that handball, looking to create. And that's what you want, to set up your teammates and create that sort of space. And he's very smart football in that sense.
Yeah, and now obviously for Romsey, it's a little bit of wait and see.
Yeah.
They've slipped outside the top 6 because they are percentage behind Wood and Heskett. So in the end, it's going to be an interesting final round. They do have one of the lower sides, so you'd say they're in the box seat to play finals, but you never know what will happen to get in between Woodend and Riddle.
Absolutely, and the final game we'll have a look at, it's Wallen and Lancefield, and the Pies certainly show that they are a worthy contender this year.
It is, look, and obviously we saw that not just I think their seniors had a day out, their reserves also had a day out, so it was a massive day there for them. They won by 104 points, which those margins were sort of expected between those top and the bottom sides. And look, they're still a side looking for a top 2 spot, and they're probably looking more towards this week.
Yep.
They've got an interesting matchup with Rupert's Wood in that final round, so it'll be interesting to see what these teams do in this final round, whether they go full tilt or whether they keep their cards close to their chest, obviously knowing that they're a top 2, top 3 spot. Wallen's probably got a little bit more to play for in this final round, but it's just about keeping that confidence going and making sure they're playing some good football heading into finals.
And the Tigers can take a little bit of confidence out of that as well.
Yeah, obviously they take a little bit of confidence. It's been a tough year for them, and for them it was never about the scoreboard. It was just making sure they did the little things right, getting the game plan, getting the structure, and building forward. So obviously for them, Matthew Bowden was named the best. He's been around for a while there for the Tigers, and he was the best there on the day.
And we're certainly going to give a shout out to the O'Mara family. They've been watching with great interest. Got some email feedback over the weekend, and they love watching the show and love hearing us pump up Riley's tyres as well, and which is fantastic. He's had a great year, and if we see more players like him at Lansfield sort of come through that junior system, I think going forward, they're going to be a pretty decent side.
That's it. If they can get these junior players through the system, they have struggled to have junior sides the last few years. Get them up and running, get those players in the side, and that's the future of the club. So you need a strong junior base, and we've seen that with some of the other clubs. Obviously, you look at how many juniors Riddles got through, how many Ruperts Woods got through. So you look at these junior setups, and then they sort of flow onto those senior sides, and you can blood those young players like a Riley and give them opportunities.
Absolutely. Well, thanks to our friends at Ontime Delivery Solutions, and thanks to you, Tara, for jumping on board. We'll catch you later on in the week.
Thanks for having me.